Hey, what's happening, everybody? My this oh man, I can't wait to tell you about all these stupid things that just happened. What is that lettering up there? Oh, you know what? It's the back of my house. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, so you're probably trying to figure out why are you late and why are we here waiting for you? As I see, nobody's waiting for me. So uh, I actually popped in for this video a couple minutes early, and then all of a sudden I realized like I had no signal. I'm at a great location. Normally has plenty of signal. Hold on. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So this contraption I have set up, I have a hat over my phone. The phone's in the cradle on the windshield, trying to reduce the heat on the phone. But anyway, so that's just the stuff that happens to me, man. I just try and roll with it. I one thing I am in life is punctual. I'm always early, never late. But apparently the phone did not want to cooperate. So here we are. We're talking a few minutes late. Uh, it's 2:09 now. I've been yapping probably for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I want to give you some updates on what's happening, what's going on. This is some good stuff. Could be shaken as long as the phone is not part of this process. But anyway, so I've been wanting to do this video, Rollo's Seafood Market in Milton, for a long time. Let me tell you what the plan was, what almost happened, and then what happened. So I actually popped in there. I don't know, might have been a couple months ago, and talked to the owner's son. His name's Justin. Seemed like a really nice young man. He was kind of like the manager, I guess, or whatever. And talked to him about my vision about doing an interview in the store. Everything, looked great and promising. We had I tried to communicate to him, and we kind of like just were missing each other. Hey, Jamie, hang tight. There might be some cool stuff happening. Definitely one of these things I would love for you to participate in. Hey, Melinda, I see you too. Apparently, 3 people are in here. So let me try and stay focused because that's very hard for me. Once you hit 62, it's like, ooh, your brain's like squirrel, squirrel, crow, mushroom. So anyway, trying to stay on point. But the Rollo's seafood thing, Justin was going to do an interview. I kind of told him some of the things I wanted to do it, how I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it on a day where they were not busy. Our communication didn't match up. He was busy. I was busy. So no hard feelings towards him. But then apparently he left to take on a different career outside of the seafood market. He may still be involved in some capacity because it's a family business, but he left. So my point man left, and that was he was going to be the mouthpiece, so to speak, to represent the business. So I popped in there one day, and a couple people did not feel like they didn't really like, for whatever reason, like sometimes females are camera shy, they don't want to get on there or whatever. I respect that, no problem. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to wing it. So I come back yesterday morning, and I noticed there's like, for Saturday morning, there was like no vehicles. I'm thinking like this may be the perfect time. Maybe I can just wing it without any customers in there. It's kind of the ideal situation I wanted. So I go in there, talk to some people. Nobody wanted to talk on camera. I'm like, daggone it. I'd rather people just tell the facts genuinely, what they know about the business, than me trying to like ad lib or make stuff up. I finally found one guy, came out of the back. He was kind of like one of the fish cutters, whatever you want to call it. A really nice guy, very helpful. I told him my vision, and they have all that fish that's displayed under ice. They for freshness reasons. So I said, hey, look, any chance you could leave one out briefly on each different species of fish so I can get a really good zoom in on it. I said, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I'm going to go out and get my selfie stick for filming, then come back. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Everything's good. So he laid all the fish out. They look so beautiful. They were no ice on top of them. You could see the species. It would have been a really cool presentation. So I come back in, and the ladies that were working behind him, I guess, didn't know about that conversation. So they submerged these fish back in ice. So I'm like, ah, daggone it. So then at that point, customers started coming in. I was like, daggone it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to roll with what we got. So I rolled with it. Could have been a better video. I saw some faults in my production because I'm not a very good videographer, but definitely, trust me, the plans were greater than the product that was released today. But really cool place, really good product. I didn't present it as well as I'd like. So anyway, we're going to move on to the next topic. So if anybody's been watching, a couple of these, probably the people that are watching now kind of know a little bit. I've been trying to help a homeless guy named Zachary, who's some type of military veteran. We have probably had dialogue about 6 times, and I'd say half of those times he remembered me, and it was short but brief and productive. I gave him a few dollars here and there, and well, for a couple months now, I've had it on my mind to donate to him a bicycle. So I was able to get one donated. I upgraded it, spent some money for a brand new 6-foot cable lock, bought some WD-40, make sure all the working parts worked, got a little crate for the bag. So like, I didn't spend a ton of money, but it was money that I could have used myself. But I'm like, you know what? This is going to be so great. Hopefully he'll be so appreciative. So I see him walking yesterday morning. I was literally driving up and down the road where I always see him walking. Finally, I saw him walking. And actually, that was not yesterday. That was Saturday. Excuse me for the error. That was Saturday morning. I find him. I wave to him, run across the road, talk to him, and he acts like he's never seen me in his life before. He looked actually fearful, and I was trying to talk to him. I'm like, hey, do you remember me? He's like, no. Looking at me, he definitely looked to have some fear. So I said, yeah, I've helped you out before. I've given you some money here and there. We talked at the convenience store. I said, right up the street here, I've got a bicycle for you. I think it could help you out. You know, I said, if you have a couple minutes, I can take you up there. You know, he's looking at me like all cross-eyed and like trying to tell me to bug off in a polite way, I guess you could say. And so I opened up the door and I said, hey, if you don't feel comfortable with this, no problem. I'm not going to badger you. He says, no, I don't want it. I'm like, okay, no problem. Have a nice day. Got in my van, drove away. And literally the rest of the day, I was so depressed because, like, what, you know, I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Then it dawned on me, like, he has a deformed chin and face. May have been combat related. I don't know. But so it started dawning on me, like, it may not have been something I had done. But he probably suffers from some type of traumatic brain injury, TBI. And so I've noticed that his memory comes in and out. I don't know if that has anything to do with medication or anything. I don't know. But my efforts to gift this person transportation failed miserably. Saturday afternoon, I was spent. I had no life in me because I felt, you know, I kept thinking, how did I fail? How did I fail? What could I have done better? And I honestly, I woke up Sunday feeling a little bit better, feeling like I pretty much did everything I could do. I actually reached out to the pastor that donated the bike and said, hey, this is what happened. If you want it back, you know, somebody needs it, hit me up. I haven't heard from anybody. I may be the person that ends up needing it, to be honest with you. I don't know the way my life's going. But I'm going to move on from that topic. My vehicle is seems to be, knock wood, is holding up so far. Uh, Finances, I'm just struggling to get by, which is all good. And, uh, so now I'm gonna get talking about the van and the van payoff. Uh, my last video, I forget what I quoted. I think said 1,200, whatever it is. Pretty sure today, as of today, I only have $1,100 left to pay on the van, which would be a huge, huge, major relief. So today, as much as I wanted to go camping and do all these things, I had very limited funds, but I knew I had to prioritize certain important things, and that being health insurance, applying for Social Security, and just trying to find some documents needed related to Social Security. So part of the day has gone pretty well. Uh, I was able to successfully, allegedly, uh, apply for health insurance because I thought it was required to receive Social Security benefits. According to the gentleman I talked to today, said that is total BS, that it's not necessary. So I'm going to loop back around to that topic, and then, but I was able to, based on my current and past income of last year, actually qualify for free health care with a very small deductible, very small. So that's good because I need it. I mean, I definitely need it. So now I'm not trying to tag on somebody else who's got a big following, but I'm going to tell you the truth, what I know, what the difference is somebody else has put out there as far as Social Security payments, income requirements, and such. So there's a YouTube channel out there called Sarasota Tim. He's basically a Florida dude, originally from Sarasota. Apparently he's relocated back to Sarasota, but he pretty much became very, very popular by putting out some information about Social Security that at the time I thought he knew what he was talking about. And at this current time, I'm still not 100% certain that he was right on some things or wrong on some things, but I can tell you I've noticed through some conversations I've had, if the people that were related to that system, and that I'm trying to choose my words correctly and selectively here. So if you see me digging, that's why. I'm trying not to offend anybody, but I'm trying to give you accurate information. So I will tell you so far what I know, and I'm still going through the process. And once I actually receive the first payment, I'm going to tell you more about the process, what is true in my case. I'm not going to say what's true in other people's cases, but I'm going to tell you the experiences I've had going through the Social Security process. You know, I've worked hard my entire life to receive these benefits. So I want to share as much accurate information as possible that pertains to me. It may not be cookie cutter for everybody, but that's coming soon. So knowing that what I was told a while back to receive my benefits, when I talked to a Social Security representative who was the rudest, nastiest individual I've ever talked to in my life, that was probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago. He was not kind or pleasant, polite, or just like shouldn't be working and dealing with the public. But he did tell me I was going to need 2 years of tax records, which I've paid my taxes. I have those. I went digging through my storage unit today, which is not very well organized because of my living situation. I found 2022. I've not found 2023. Hopefully it's in here once I purchase. I don't know, but once I find 2023, I'll feel much better. And the other thing that I desperately needed was, hey, Josh, nice talking to you, brother. You've been on my mind for a couple of reasons, brother. But let me try and stay on point. I have 2 birth certificates. One my mom has had since the day I was born. She never gave it to me, or well, I don't know. Somehow, mysteriously, years ago, she revealed she had my birth certificate, the original birth certificate, when I was born in 1962 in Wilmington, Delaware. So the other replacement birth certificate I had is in my safe deposit box in Bonita Springs, Florida. But I lost the key, and they want like $200 or so to re-drill the thing. I'm like, screw that. I'm not paying that. Not yet, but I still want that newer copy eventually, but I just don't have that kind of disposable income. Hey, Ted, what's up, brother? So I know my stories get long. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to give you all the true details. So trying to find my tax return, I found one. I found my birth certificate, which was like, woo, oh yeah, big relief. I'm going to need that eventually. So that was really cool. Plus, it's like the original birth certificate from when I was born. When I was well, I shouldn't say when I was born, whenever my mom applied for that. I don't know if I was 4 or 5 years old when she got that. But anyway, so I'm going to move on from that. Really cool channel I've been watching lately that I really like. I want to give a shout out. And I've kind of known about him through other YouTube channels I follow, but the channel name is called The Dog Man. The Dog Man channel or something like that. The Dog Man, I think is what it is exactly. He's really good behind a camera. Really good. He can tell a story like nobody else. I do some story time, but he's like, he puts me in like JV league, little league, but he's a really good storyteller, has really interesting approach on life. I was watching the video today. He was talking about, I'm trying to remember exact title, 5 things that make you unhappy or something like that. Very interesting to hear his perspective. The very beginning part, I don't agree with. I'm not knocking him. It's just, we just have different points of view on that. But everything he says, I totally admire and respect. It's his channel. I don't want to get into debate with him or anybody else, but I do feel that like everybody has a different journey, a different story. So part of what he said about everybody being dealt with the same hand of cards, I don't agree with that. I'm not knocking him. That's the only thing I disagreed with his message today. But everything else he has said is really good, on point. I think it's good. So I'm not here to knock him in any way. Please do not misperceive that. He has a great channel. I think that's his side channel. I think I know the other name. I know I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, so I'm not even going to mention it. But so anyway, when I go in my storage unit today, I'm moving on to the next topic. So I'm not knocking that dude. Yeah, I like the dude. He's a great dude. Funny as hell. So I go to my storage unit looking for these documents. I'm pulling stuff out and realize, like, man, when I moved everything in to that storage unit, it was crisis time, crunch mode. Didn't have a whole lot of time. Didn't have time to organize it. So it just kind of got thrown in there, hosh bosh, whatever you want to call it. And I'm saying all these things I forgot I owned. And I've been talking about doing a camp kitchen for camping and stuff like that. I find this big Sterilite like storage locker type thing with two nice latches. Totally forgot I owned. It's all the way in the back. I used it for all my fishing tackle, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty much that and one other thing I used for selling bait and tackle. My tackle stuff, that's my camp kitchen right there. And Shh. So like there was a good find today. Then I totally forgot how much kitchen utensils I own and pots and pans and like basically my camp kitchen is in my storage locker. I just need to find time and uh, conducive weather to get in there and organize it and make it look like a good organized setup and do a production. So I'm going to move on because I'm rambling. Um, so anybody that's watched anything about the channel, I pretty much got evicted or I got booted from Walmart boondocking. I don't know why. I probably slept in a little too late one morning and I don't know, but I see other people still boondocking there. I've never littered. I don't know. I don't know why I got the boot. But so now I've had to try and relocate to other locations that are not as close and convenient as that local Walmart. So I've mixed it up a little bit. I felt most comfortable at Walmart. Now I'm back to being uncomfortable. I've gone to a truck stop a few times. I've gone to 2 different rest areas, and that's kind of what the point of me listing this. It's funny, when I go westbound on I-10 to a rest area, that one's, all the Florida rest areas I've noticed, ever been to, have been like pristine, like I would rate them a 10 every time. Really good rest areas. Have everything you need, including poison venomous snakes and whatnot. So they have all the signage. Yeah. So like, I don't know why you put a rest area in a rattlesnake pit, but Florida does. Welcome to Florida. Anyway, I'm just being facetious there. But so the one going westbound is really busy. That's the one I did a video of showing the Blue Angels jet and stuff like that. The one directly across the highway going eastbound towards Tallahassee, that one is always empty. What I've noticed for vehicles, it's big for truckers. But to get to that side of the roadway, it's a little bit out of the way, a little bit more to get there. But when I wake up in the morning, I am way closer to going to get a cup of coffee and get my breakfast buffet at Piggly Wiggly. I know that sounds funny. It's a true story, Piggly Wiggly. They have a really cool breakfast buffet I like to indulge in. I always do it very cheaply because that's what I'm about, cheap and frugal. But so let me move on from that. So I do that, and then it's so funny how that rest area, or when I get off at that location, is so close to where I roam. Oh, so now I want to talk to you about, I found this really cool place in the Blackwater River State Forest called Blackwater Joe's. And I want to do a YouTube retreat there. I'm still trying to work out the timing, see if there's interest out there. But I did one video recently, probably didn't do it great justice, but it's on 47 acres. There's all kinds of canoe rentals available. If you're going on the river, you can just rent the canoes. You could have guided tours, which would be a different rate. If you're just chilling out, camping, it's very cheap, very affordable. Every pond supplies a canoe or 2 for free usage if you're camping there. There's 3 cabins on site. One cabin sleeps 6, the other 2 sleep 8. Those cabins are a much larger pond, almost considered a lake, I guess you would say. So I would love to organize something going forward, preferably this year. If anybody has any interest in that any ideas, suggestions. It does not have to be a big gathering. It could be 20, 30, 40 people, whatever. It, to me, is the most ideal, pristine location based on just, if you're a back to nature person, that is the place. I'm telling you. Probably the only setback is with my phone provider. Reception is very difficult. If you have a cell phone booster, that would probably help. If you have Starlink, if you have any type of RV or camper, I'm not sure about the Wi-Fi capabilities in the cabin. I'm still working on some of these. So, but anyway, so I just want to touch base with my friends. I'm going to tap out because I got to use the little boy's room. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to try and keep you updated. If I said anything that you like or dislike, just feel free to comment. You know, I just, YouTube's an open place, an open forum. So I can take the good with the bad. So I got to go because I got to do some stuff that you don't want to know about. All right. Talk to you soon, folks. Love you guys. Appreciate you.